Hi, everybody. Recruiting Animal here on June 28th, 2023. Okay. And we've got the superstar here. We don't even need anybody else, even if they're coming. Richie Rich Rosen. I shouldn't shout like that because it doesn't come out on the mic. But he's got a new tag name, America's Recruiter. Okay. I got Steve Levy. Steve Levy said he's not America's Recruiter. But to me, he's America's Recruiter, okay? Hey, everybody. America's Recruiter, Richie Rich Rosen, cornerstonesearch.com. Okay. I have a little pet issue. You know how I'm always telling people, hey, go out, and no one listens to me. Go out and buy a domain name that's easy to remember. You go to a party, they say, where's your card? I don't have a card, but ABC Recruiting is my URL. That's my domain, and they'll never forget it, okay? Well, this on my Facebook page, this woman clicked on this posting that I did 5 years ago, and I said, mindfulrecruiting.com. Someone wants to sell that. What a trashy name. Okay. So she wrote a comment. I did a search on this Facebook group and I saw that and I went and bought it. So it made me laugh. She followed my warning in reverse, but she was smart. First of all, she's working in placing a psychologist or something like that. It's right up her alley. But secondly, I didn't like it because I just thought everything's mindful now. It's so hackneyed. I don't like what everybody else is doing. I'm a loner. I'm a maverick. Okay, so I didn't like it. But it's perfect. It's so easy to remember. Okay, there's an intro. I made Richie Rich sit through it, but I'm going to ask him now to be perfectly honest. Do you agree with me that it's hackneyed, but it's not bad?
What was it? Mindful
recruiting. Maybe you're not with it. You're so busy working, you don't realize that every posting these days is, we do mindful. We're mindful.
I think it's kind of dumb, but hey, I wouldn't use it.
It sucks, but it worked. Okay.
I got two for you because I'm in the midst of starting this podcast, which is a slow roll out here. What do you think of I bought the domain name that Kara Rice had came up with this name, another recruiter. Get Rich with Rosen.
I love it.
Or since it's a
podcast. He told me a month ago. He said, I'm going to do a podcast with Recruiting Animal. It's going to wipe you off the map. Okay. I said, great.
I got it started, and then other stuff happened with some guests and things like that. So I can do Get Rich with Rosen, which I'm not sure.
I love it. Buy
it. I already bought it. Or since it's a SaaS software related podcast, was another buddy came up with Kicking SaaS. What do you think?
Is that a pun on something?
SaaS, like SaaS
instead of ass. Yeah, it takes me a minute.
You Canadians, I know you don't get the politically correct.
What made me think of Sass Jordan, who I read about recently.
I don't know that.
Okay, but she's married to somebody famous. Okay,
yeah. No, SaaS. Everything I do is SaaS software. So
you know what? I got to tell you something. That I don't like it that much, but it's better because if you search SaaS on Google, that's going to bring you up. Okay.
Yeah. So that was.
I love Get Rich with Rosen. I love it, but the other one's better. I got to admit it. Okay, so we've had our little talk here. I know that might be boring people, but if you had a brain in your head, you'd realize that you should run out and buy a domain name and point it to your LinkedIn page like nobody else does. I beg them to do it, don't I?
You do. Well, you know what you could. You should be doing instead of the domain names on here. On LinkedIn, you can get it up. They automatically make a QR code for you. You should be posting our QR codes on our little screens.
How?
How do you get the QR code?
Well, how do you post it on the screen?
Well, you could take a picture of it. You could post it. You could. I don't know. I don't do Google Video. I'm still a Zoom guy.
You figure it out and tell me. Do it for your podcast, okay? Don't make me feel like an idiot. It's not hard, trust me. Okay. Here's the other one. Somebody had a question. They claim, I had the question. The claim was you can double your income by posting on LinkedIn. Now, that's what Richie Rich is trying to do with his podcast soon to come. He wants to go out and interview managers, hiring managers in his niche, which is, just like he said, SaaS startups, and do little interviews with them, post them on LinkedIn, and suck those guys into his realm, his, I don't know what to call it, his network. They want to make them a little more intimate, okay? Shove out guys like me and put the money makers in okay? So Richie Rich, how much percentage-wise do you think that will increase your income?
I have no idea. Honestly, it's a BD tool.
What's your dream? What's your target, your aspiration?
I've already hit my goals.
No. With this, hi, Sasha.
With the podcast, it's just, you know what? Instead of doing 1,000 emails and 1,000 phone calls, you know, it's an easier intro to say, hey, let's go on my podcast. We'll, you know, you can end up representing your software. You can end up, you know, we can talk about yourself, how you got there, your journey. You know, it's a different way to get. Okay.
So, Rich, are you telling me that? Yeah, I'm not even thinking about how much it's going to bring back. I'll just see. I'll go out there and explore the field, and we'll see what happens. But I have no target. Is that what you're saying?
But yeah, I've not thought of it. Hey, I need to make another $1 million from this.
Not, I need to. You don't need to, but you want to. How much do you want to make? We'll help him, Sasha. What's your fantasy? What's your fantasy that this podcast?
That's a bunny with her little ears behind.
She's very cute. Oh, yeah. Okay. What's your fantasy about how much this podcast could bring in, percentage-wise?
You're asking me still? Yeah, I have no idea. You know what? Okay. Because I'm not thinking of it. Hey, it's going to generate X, Y, or Z. It's going to generate, you know, interest in business. You know, that people I already know, people that get.
Yes, and that makes you money. That's why you're doing it, Rich. Even if it's fun, that's not what.
Yeah, but it's just another avenue of doing business development. Is it going to make me an extra $100,000? Is it going to? I don't know.
Why do I have to beg these guys for answers? I don't get it.
It's a question that's impossible to answer.
Okay, Sasha, is there anything important you want to share? Or you just want to smile there in the sense? I got you.
I'm just gonna smile.
Okay.
I'm just gonna smile today.
Okay.
Where are you? Where are you? Estonia or something like that? Where are you?
Serbia.
Yeah, Serbia.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
What time is it in Serbia?
What time is it?
6
p.m. 6 p.m. East Coast.
Okay. Okay. Richie Rich is up next. Rich Rosen's email tips. Some guy posted his email and it was long and boring. Okay. Rich said, make it short with bullets. So is your email, your recruiting email? Oh no, this was actually a business development email. So, so you actually don't believe
in too long. Yeah.
Okay, but you believe in phoning first, right? Or you do them all at the same time?
Yeah, I do them all at the same time. I mean, emails typically go out first because it's automated, and then I follow up with a phone call.
But for business development, you don't text them as well, right? That's for recruiting.
I don't generally text first no matter what. I haven't had great success just cold texting people.
I thought you had the trio, the triple threat. Email, phone call with a voicemail, and a text as well, all on the same day.
Sometimes, yeah, but they've seen your name at least once or twice already, or they've heard your name. Like just texting people first, I wouldn't do. Putting it it's absolutely in the mix of outreach for sure. And I
even for business development as well as for recruiting.
Not as much as for BD. Like BD, eventually I'll do that if I don't get any response by email, I don't get any response by phone. Yeah, then I'll text.
Okay, and just so everybody knows, Rich follows the Tom Tuna rule. Cold call until one of you dies, okay? He is, there's no limit. In fact, I met Rich maybe 5 years ago already, and that's what we talked about the first time. I said, is there a max? No max, okay? He's the no max guy. And
I get busy doing other stuff. That's it.
Yeah,
get enough other jobs. You don't need to go that
little clip. You can go to recruitinganimalshow.com and you'll find it there. Okay, it is terrific. I'll just say something else. Again, I post these little clips every day on LinkedIn and my Facebook group. Absolutely nobody looks at them. I think they're great. Okay, patting myself on the back. Okay. Okay. So, but here is your email. Is it completely, now I have to edit that out so I can have Rich talking about his email in one complete block. But is it all bullet points or is it a mix of sentences and bullets?
I mean, it's short. It's like 6 lines usually. It's like a quick introduction sometimes, or it's sometimes it starts with, hey, not. It's just like I always say, like a recruiting email is no different than a BD, email or phone call. One's going to start with, hey, I'm not sure if you're looking. Other's going to say, hey, I don't know if you need this person or you could use a, XYZ. If you can, I've got this guy who's done bullet.
Okay, but this guy we're talking about, who we were critiquing, he started off saying, hi, I'm a headhunter in London. I do this and that. And Rich said the first sentence should be a hook about the problem you're solving. Yeah. You know your space and the 3 things your hiring manager wants to hear. What does that come out like, Rich? I have trouble imagining.
I can't say I'm always great at it, but when you have time to really write a good email, you should have.
He talks the talk, but maybe doesn't walk the walk. Okay, you're not one of those guys, are you, Richie?
What I write seems to work. I don't really understand why, because I get other people's emails all the time, and I think they're technically better than mine, but they don't seem to get the same response. My emails are, it's like, listen, I know like my customer, what their pain points are. They, whether it's just lack of time, dealing with stupidity, 90% of the people are looking at suck, and it's just, again, wasting their time, costing them money. So it's like, listen, you're tired of looking at, garbage, or you're still looking at garbage candidates kind of thing, or, hey, can you use someone that fills this role for you? I mean, doesn't have to be rocket science or something uber creative. Everyone tries to do this perfect pitch every time. It really doesn't have to be. It just has to be make progress. And if the guy first email, he doesn't need a sales guy, because, hey, all his guys are A players, and my opening line may be, hey, or the subject line may be, or is your entire team hitting over quota? Never happens, so of course they're not. So maybe they read it for that. Maybe that's just the first line of the email, but a second line is going to be, hey, if they're not all A players, I've got a guy that's done A, B, and C.
So it's always MPC, most placeable candidate.
Not always, but mostly.
Okay, so Rich, I hope when you do your podcast and you're guiding the other person, you're the host, that you're offer a little more clarity than you did this time, because you said something, and Sasha really wants to know when she starts her own company.
Did you understand, Sasha?
What did he say? He said something about stupid. I tell them, hey, is this one of your pain points? Something stupid. What was stupid? Are you dealing with stupid recruiters? Is that what you asked?
Most of them are.
No. What did you say? You were looking down and talking. Said stupid.
When you're the first line of the email is just going to basically, hey, are you still looking for sales candidates? Are you still, is your whole team a bunch of A players? It varies. I just write on the fly.
Okay, so it wasn't like
put it in my LinkedIn, my outplay thing. Okay. It's not one line every time, but it's essentially something along those lines.
You said, okay, I won't press too much, but you said, I know the pain points of my clients. Now, when I ask him for those pain points, he doesn't know them.
Okay. You didn't ask what the pain points were.
I just asked you to repeat what you said. What are the pain points? Tell me again.
The pain points for VPs of sales are going to be their lack of time, their lack of quality candidates, the fact that people aren't hitting their numbers. It's costing them commission. It's costing them, a lot of times it's costing them time with their family, because they got to do 2 people's jobs because their guys in the roles right now stink. I talked to a company yesterday. They've interviewed 85% of the people they've interviewed haven't made it past a certain phase of their interview process. Well, all right. Well, so it's a pain, because clearly whoever you're using to source their candidate sucks. Or
okay, you're not putting this. So you
that's not all email, but that's just part of
the pain points, but they don't. This stuff doesn't. Even though you told that guy put the pain points in your email, you don't put them in your email. Okay, you just say, hey, are you still looking?
That is absolutely not it. But
Rich, you're betraying me. I said, Sasha, before you came on, I said he's America's recruiter. Okay. I don't know if it's which America it is.
I mean, but what you're asking, that you write emails 1,000 different ways. So I write my emails, put them into my automation, and then they sit there, but they change every time. Like every time I rewrite it, it's going to be a different pain point for this, if you're writing their CEO, if you're writing to the VP of sales, it's going to be like I just said. Hey, is your whole team making their number? Is your whole team, doing this? Where's the weak link? I mean, it's all around that portion of the email. Okay. Again, it doesn't have to be the super creative one-liner.
Okay. I could have never figured that out from the advice you gave to this guy. Okay. And then he said, run it through ChatGPT. Do you run all your emails through ChatGPT?
Hell yeah. I do now.
What do you say to ChatGPT?
I say, hi. No, what do you do? You just literally, you can do a whole different prompt, but you can literally just simply rewrite, and then put your email in there, and it'll rewrite it.
And it does better than you?
Sometimes. Oftentimes. My writing's horrible.
Okay. And you don't find that's a tedious waste of time? You find it's worth it? Okay.
I mean, because you're going to write it, and then you can put different prompts within ChatGPT to really get make it even sharper and better. You tell you're a third-party recruiter, act like a third-party recruiter, rewrite this, or email, rewrite this for, to get a VP of sales excited, or whatever you want to put. I mean, there's a whole series of prompts. That's a whole other conversation.
The famous Alan Fluhrer. We're busy talking to Richie Rich for a second about email. Okay. Yeah. Wait a second. I want to finish.
Animal doesn't understand that I've not committed emails to memory.
Okay. No. Rich is his typical shtick. He's playing it again. He gave out some specific instructions on somebody's posting in the comments, and now I'm asking to pin him down. Well, it depends. That's his always. It depends. It depends. It depends. That's
Alan,
not good.
Alan, everything is just done one way, right? I mean, there's no depends in recruiting, right? I mean,
okay, depends on what you wear.
Depends. It's really nothing else that depends in recruiting.
Older people who are incontinent. Okay, sorry, old people. I'm ageist. Okay, but hold on a second here, Rich. You're almost done. You say always follow up your email with a call, right?
Absolutely.
I can pin that down. Okay.
That you can pin down. That's a simple yes or no. What you're asking for is not a simple yes or no.
Rich put Sasha through this painful exercise. I want to ask her if she has a question. Do you have a question for him? Do you have a question, Sasha?
No, I don't. This actually reminds me a lot to advice that my friend who's in sales gave me. When you're approaching companies, you first need to realize if they have a burning problem. That's first question. How much does that problem hurt them? And the third one would be who would get fired if that problem is not resolved, and that is the person that you need to go to.
Person with the pain.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, Alan Fluhrer, do you want to talk about your? You don't do business development anymore, but I'm sure you have an opinion about it all the same. Okay. Well, should they all be bullet points? Yes or no? I'll ask you. I'll feed you the questions. Yes or no? I'll make it as easy as possible.
Yeah, even the name, you should just say bullet point Alan.
Yeah. But what, in an email?
Yeah, you're writing out a business development to somebody like a VP sales or somebody you want to place people with. Should it be all bullet points?
I don't see a problem with using all bullet points if you want to. Look, I get hit up by agencies on a daily basis, and I can recite the BS from heart, and it's all the same. It doesn't deal with the pain points. It doesn't take me into consideration. It doesn't take my pain points or my underlying pain points into consideration. And when it does, maybe I respond, but if the person calls me after that, I get maybe 2 calls out of 100.
Let me cut you off. Rich, I'm going to teach you a lesson. I'm teaching America's recruiter, okay? When you're interviewing these guys, you have to interrupt them. Don't let them ramble like I let you ramble. I thought it's Rich. He's going to say something smart sooner or later, okay? Maybe. And now I let Alan do it, okay?
But Alan,
no.
You're doing it. You're doing it.
He forgets that Grandpa Animal hasn't, he needs it really spelled out.
Let me guide you, Alan. Alan's in a good position. He described, I get a ton of garbage emails every day. Yeah. What do you want to see? How would the perfect email look, Al? Come on.
Basically, what they said is what I said. Maybe a little clearer, but it's exactly what I said. It's exactly the same thing. You email with a problem you're solving. Your opener line is, hey, listen, is your sales team great? It's a very simple opener. It's not the greatest opener, but it's effective. It says, hey, I know your fucking problem. And here's someone that can fix that problem.
I also think Rich probably does this, and it's not only is your sales team great, but the next bullet point should be something underneath that. Is if their sales team is not great, what's causing the pain because the sales team is not great? Is it revenue? Is it net profit? Is it whatever? And Rich specializing in a niche of candidates, he knows what that is. That's what's going to appeal to somebody.
Yeah, you've lost me already. I want to know what your
okay. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Here's what I would do. If I was trying, if I was trying to sell a doctor, I would, or to a hospital.
No. Well, I want to hear if someone's selling to you. If you were selling to yourself, what email would you send? Is it so hard?
No. The doctor works better. The doctor works better. What is a heart? No, animal. I'm gonna challenge you. What is a heart surgeon? What do they do? What does a heart surgeon do?
I just had a talk with Rich. They cause problems, okay?
Yeah, bullshit. Exactly. What does answer my question? Yoda
they operate on hearts.
Bullshit. That's the process. What do? They give their patients 20 more years to hike the mountains. They give them 20 more years with their grandchildren. That's the appeal. They do it by operating on the heart. Rich helps companies. You know what I do? I help companies get better. I help solve their problems. I help make them more profitable. I do that by recruiting. And if you keep shaking your head, kiss mine.
You know what? I got to tell you something. I'm glad you told people what I was doing, because this with now I'm on Google Meet. It doesn't show the grid, so they can't see how pained I am when you guys are just talking nonsense. Okay. At least
by the way, on a side note, complete side note, Animal. It's been a while. You're looking good, man.
Thank you. I thought I looked a little pale. Sasha's on the pale side as well. At least, and you know, since we've been on Google Meet, Rich comes out much darker than.
Yeah, I don't have a light on, so.
Okay. Anyway, but it's nice. You still look ghostly for some reason, Alan. You've always looked that way. I don't know why. Okay.
I had to put a different camera on because it wouldn't accept my fancy schmancy camera. I had to go with an old Logitech.
I wonder why. I'm on a Logitech. Okay.
Anyway, but you're looking at the underlying pain that the lack of the person is causing.
Yeah, we don't like generalities here. That's why I said.
How general was that, Rich?
It was very okay.
It's not very. It's what the right answer is.
No. I asked him, Rich. I said, how? I don't know. No one's ever going to listen to this thing. Okay. I asked, how would you write to yourself? You know, you've got all the secrets inside. You should be able to tell us. You know. Anyway. Okay. Let's go.
No. Okay. Here you go. So if I was placing cybersecurity, high-level cyber guys, and I knew that a bank just had to fix an intrusion, my email would be, Rich, you're the CISO at Bank of Blah. You know, are you tired of paying Deloitte $700,000 a month to fix a problem that could have been fixed with a simple patch update? So does your team know about this?
Okay, so so you would do the research and you would know the specific issues for that company. That's
a pain point. No, it's not. It's the right thing to do.
If you're selling a product, it's a solid email for someone selling a product.
Yeah, but he has to do research to find that out first. He's got to do research.
All I have to do is know my sector and
make an assumption. You know, you just make the assumption.
Or if I'm paying attention to the news, or in this case for cyber, I'd be paying attention to the news sites who got hacked. I see Bank of Blah, boom, email out to the chief security officer. Next day he gets a call. Hey, did you get Deloitte or EY to fix your problem? Great. Well, that was what, 700,000, 1.2 million. By the way, do you have the required ratio number of security people per your employee ratio? Okay, you want to talk?
Okay, thank you.
Stop. I
don't know. Missing his call being on the inside. He's got to go to the outside of writing like that, you know?
And the other thing, Animal, is what you're doing is Rich has the experience in sales and he knows those pain points. And I'm not selling a product with that. I'm selling a service of recruiting, but I know the pain point at its core. Testing, software testing. Here you go.
Yep.
White box testing. Hey, how are your guys doing? Are they writing the right code? Are they using the right product? You guys keep advertising for all these white box software testers. Do you want you want to talk? I know a couple of guys that, they've been doing testing for years. They save the company a lot of money by having the right code written, and they understand how to write the code.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on. Thank you,
Bite
Alan
me.
Fluhrer.
Sorry.
No, he
That
came
was
back
good.
with a flourish. Welcome back, Ernie, foodindustryrecruiter.com. Okay.
Hello, guys.
Okay. This one's called I Love Cold Calling. This woman wrote, it's easy, but I used to suck at it. Now I think that getting screamed at or yelled at is entertaining. Okay. And Rich said, when you deal with feedback on cold calls, emails at work, or text, ignore the whiners. That actually, what he just had was ignore the whiners. Ignore the whiners. Is that, you want to stand by that, Rich?
As far as as far as people that complain that you cold called them, this is some of the people that were complaining they were cold calling or emailing their work email. That's stupidity.
All of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Ignore them. I'll write back and say, hey, listen, if you're really worried about, your boss, one, why would you, if they're that worried, they weren't going to email me back on their corporate email. And if they were, either way, I'll write back and say, hey, if you're truly worried about your boss reading your actual emails and has the time to read your emails, you really should be looking, but if that's the kind of environment you want to be in, that's fantastic, but this opportunity is going to be a lot more open. It's going to be a lot more flexible. You got a great boss, blah, blah, blah. And you give them the pitch again,
Okay. So you told that other people, maybe your competition, ignore the whiners, but your actual practice is to sell into the problem. Okay.
Well, to ignore the whiners is like, don't worry about it. Cause I think she was like all like flustered that someone, if I remember right, she was all flustered, like, oh my God, someone got mad at me for emailing them at work.
Okay. Do you find, like that woman said, do you find people who get mad at you entertaining?
Do I don't really think about it, to be honest with you. I just find it, they give me a dumb response, I respond back.
Okay.
If I think they're very good. Sometimes you're just like, it's a cannon fodder one,
Okay. Well, that guy who called you because you pronounced San Francisco wrong.
Oh God, yeah.
You found that entertaining.
That was entertaining because that was just stupid.
The guy called him back. He said, Rich left a message, but there's a position in San Fran. And the guy called back just to say, we don't say San Fran.
Yeah.
Okay. He was real pissed off. What an idiot.
Okay, I'd use that as an opening.
What?
I already know the guy's kind of a whiner, but I'd use it as an opening. I had the same thing happen about that. I used to call it Frisco, and I got called, and the guy goes, "We know you're from LA because people up here don't." I go, "Oh, well, really? Well, what do they do?"
Yeah.
Well, we call it the Bay Area, or we call it San Francisco. I'm like, okay, well, what? Blah blah. 5 minutes later, I'm like, so I got a referral.
I look at it as for sales guys though. I'm like, if a sales guy's going to get so offended over something so stupid,
That's true.
I'm like, cannot be that good a salesperson. So then it becomes a game.
Yeah.
Because what do you have to lose?
What do you call it? A big crappy dump where people have a tense
I
seat.
thought Detroit 2.0. It's Detroit 2.0 now. That's what it is.
Okay. Anybody else want to comment on getting irritable responses to email or anything like that? Anybody?
I think outside recruiters should stop being stupid about it.
Well, let me make a comment.
Agreed.
Or a question. When you guys get send out a cold email, just a regular, and they write back, please take me off your list. Do you take them off your list?
Not really. I mean, honestly, I take them off of that list, but they go on to a new list. Next time I have an opening. I mean, I'm not sending enough spam to worry about spam lists and things like that.
Okay.
The whole GDPR problems.
Tom had a point as well. He said every business development call should start. Every business development outreach should start with a phone call, not an email. Rich disagreed. Okay, so if they were here, I could pit them against each other.
I don't think there's like a serious right or wrong. I just think you could hit more people with an email and then you follow up a phone call. I mean, like my emails go out like at 5, 6, 7 in the morning, so it's sitting in their inbox. So then when I call, it's sitting right there. They've seen my name hopefully at least once. Now they can either, hey, if it's something they're interested in, they can pick up the phone and say, hey, Rich, I saw it was you calling, or hey, just read your email, or I haven't seen you read your email, but I'm like, oh, check your box, it's right there. I mean,
but the point is, you don't just send out one thing only.
Exactly.
Do one thing. You do an email, you do a text, you do a.
You wait, Ernie. I've got your list. I read your comment as well. I've got it. You said exactly what you do, but I just want to say, Tom is different than Rich. He'll take a stand. He'll die on what he said. Okay, he won't bend. He doesn't say that. Depends. He doesn't say that. He says this is the way it has to be done, and he'll fight. Okay, you saw with him and Amy. Okay, Rich has never got in a fight like that with her.
Yeah, it's not worth it. What's the? I mean, because that's not how you do recruiting. You got to be flexible about everything.
Yeah.
There's no all or nothing. You know, I love Tom, but you know, what's the point of dying on a
What
hill?
was the conflict about?
Which one?
Oh, that
Amy.
one. They had a few of them. Yeah, so Rich gave a good answer then. But one of them was Tom said, if you're getting paid big money for a search, don't go looking for people who are looking for jobs. You have to look for passive candidates that the company can't find on its own. And I sympathize with his view. And she said, you know, but she's in a different situation. She places half of her candidates are applicants.
But they're also
she's a super recruiter.
It's a different world.
They're really specialized space people.
Yeah, but I believe that she brings a lot of those people in the same way Rich wants to with her fantastic videos, little short video every week. They're very good. And Rich wants to do that same thing in his niche. Okay. Ernie has posted his email sequence. Okay. So nobody can just talk vague with me if I've got them. They can deny it after I bring it up, but I see what they say when they're talking to other people. Ernie says he does a cold call, an email, a text, and sometimes a LinkedIn message. That's his sequence. And he does leave voicemails on the phone calls, and he does that whole sequence 3 times. So there's like at least 9 touches, maybe 12. Am I right about that, Ernie? Have I cornered you on this?
Yes.
There you go. Anything you want to say about in addition to that, or is that just all the wisdom you had to share?
That's not all the wisdom. You should know me better than that.
About email, okay? No, I don't want to talk about your childhood.
but the thing is, it's I do it primarily that way, but at times you make it flexible because sometimes you'll have an email, sometimes you won't have a phone number, sometimes you'll have this, and sometimes you don't have that. So you gotta be able to move with the tide depending on the
This
candidate.
is his platonic ideal that I just gave. Sasha, do you want to say anything? You can say no.
No.
No? Well, okay.
I got a question.
I'm sorry, I'm busy with other things.
Oh, that's okay. I just see you're quiet. I thought I'd
Oh.
give you a chance. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Alan Fluhrer. We'll
Question for Ernie and or Rich. Hey, do you guys use a mass texting app? And if you do, which one? Do you like it?
I just use the one built into Ring Central, so in Cree
Oh,
Lake,
okay.
you know. So I don't do the mass.
Okay.
I honestly, I was telling Animal before, I don't have great luck with mass texting. The response is not, if it's warm people, it's great. If it's cold texting, I don't have great response.
Interesting.
The texting I do is just say, "This is Ernie. I just sent you a text and email. Check it out, Ernie."
No, I know,
Because
but do you do it on the phone? Do you have an app that you go laptop to phone? What do you do?
When I do I try to do it within Luxo because they have those sort of
Okay.
capabilities, and I do it within there. But the real figuring is like some people say that people don't pick up their phones anymore, but what they do look at all the time is texting. So you
Well,
get
it's true. I also think it's industry specific. So you're in food and CPG.
Yeah.
When I was in CPG and I was dealing with people at factories, texting worked because they can't get near it.
I guess what I'm saying is I agree with you. It's more times change at times. The go-to tool changes, and you have to kind of figure that out, and you got to adjust with the time. Texting is something that people cannot ignore. They can ignore the email, they can ignore the phone if they want, but texting is something that they're kind of addicted to reading. And if you want to get to people and let them know who you are, texting is what I'm seeing, or I'm hearing from others that's a way to connect with them. In terms of LinkedIn, we as recruiters, we live on LinkedIn. Other people don't do that. And so occasionally you'll get a reply. Occasionally it'll be 2 days later.
Okay, advise Rich to interrupt people, and I'm going to do that right now. I'm moving on. Do you have anything else, Al, about texting? Did they answer your questions? Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Manager, this is the title I put. Manager blames recruiter about retention. Okay. She says, I am an internal recruiter. We did a lot of hiring for one manager last year. 3 of the people quit in their first 6 months, and now another one has gone. The manager is blaming me, okay? The other teams I recruit for don't have this level of turnover. I talked with my HR business representative who does exit interviews. None of the people told her anything, okay? One person was gone, and the 3 of them said they don't want to share why they're leaving, okay? So this hiring manager is blaming her. I think it's him. What should she say to him?
She should find a new job.
No, well, she's working in a company
No,
where
no, she should find a better company, because the fact that the HR person couldn't elicit the feedback from in the exit interview, the fact that the HR person just goes right, and the fact that they have a business partner that can't figure it out. You just said the problem. The problem is that person. That person is insulated. So either deal with it.
Okay. Michael G. Cox or Amy or Steve Levy, I believe they would say, get the data, go to this person.
Well, yeah. Well, you should have. I mean, I'm assuming she already has the data. From what you read,
she gave us, but she didn't say she's gone and snitched on him or her to the boss. That's the solution. And you don't have to do it behind the hiring manager's back. You say, look, I think we got a problem. Let's go discuss it with Betty or Billy or something like that. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought,
that's the solution.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then if the senior exec doesn't back her up, she might want to look for another job. Anybody else? So as Alan said, it looks like an open and shut case.
It's pretty open, but I mean, it's really, if she's just an internal recruiter and not the director or the vice president of recruiting or reporting to the VP of HR, if there's a problem with somebody that's a hiring manager and it's a little deeper and personality wise, you got 4 people that have quit or 6 people that have quit within the last 6 months. It's kind of got it. Her goal is, rather than responding to that person, is to respond up her chain and get some direction as what she should do. But eventually what's got to happen is that VP got to talk to VP and figure out whether or not this HR manager is performing properly.
Or the hiring manager.
Well, what I'm saying is the VP who that hiring manager reports to has to deal with an issue. And if that's not being dealt with and you're just trying to take it from the bottom, it's not going to work. It's always going to be,
this guy's an idiot. He's blaming the recruiter. Okay.
It's not like an idiot. It's a defense mechanism. Yeah. It's like when you're in a meeting and you're sitting there and you're trying to fill a position and they tell you, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to talk to anybody. Sorry. And then you go to a meeting and they say in the meeting, that same hiring manager says, HR, the recruiters have not given me anybody. And you're sitting there going, that's freaking bull. And do you decide at that moment to attack or do you decide later on? And it's all a matter of
always, if you run into a bottleneck and it's obviously the person, you have to go to his or her boss. Answer given. Next question. Hire best friends. My company had 2 positions open for the same role. Okay. There's 2 identical vacancies. We had 2 people apply whom we later found out are best friends, and the hiring manager thinks that they're the best candidates. He wants to hire both of them. I'm afraid of bringing 2 closely related people onto the team, that it's going to create some kind of emotional imbalance. Okay. I think she's crazy. Does anybody else have a comment on that? No?
I have a comment that I have a better question. I have a better burning problem.
Go ahead.
Okay. I wasn't hoping that this show will bring me leads or any type of business, since I was still learning and I wanted to gather some knowledge about how to start on my own. And just recently, I had 2 leads coming through.
Wait a second, Rich, wake up. She needs your. You're going to need your help, okay?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Through Facebook. However, I'm keeping my social media only for private purposes, not business purposes. Now, I do believe that both opportunities are great opportunities for me to start in this industry.
On. Did we miss something? Did you get offered a job? Is that what you just said?
Not a job. Not a job. I was approached by 2 candidates from the United States to help them find a job.
Uh-huh.
However, the problem with one of them was that when she realized that I'm not based in the United States, she was kind of afraid to provide her resume to me, which is obviously reasonable because at this point, I don't have a website, I don't have any references, etc., etc. So I realized that I would have to start working on branding from the scratch when it comes to recruiting. So I wanted to ask how important social media is for you when you are, or
let me answer this one
I mean,
first. You've
you're
got
in
a
the
problem.
industry
I have heard you
let me
already.
finish.
Okay,
I wasn't
this
raising
is a
the question.
recruiting animal show. I know
Just a
what you're
second.
saying.
No,
I knew
no.
it 10 minutes
I
ago.
know, but I have to be louder than you. Okay, so
Learning.
thinking in terms of going from the scratch or beginning from the scratch, how important you believe social media is in this industry?
Are you going to get fired for having a side hustle? That's what I want to know first.
No. I was approved. It was green lighted.
Personally, I just want to say, Sasha, congratulations, because I remember when you first came on the show, you never would have done that to the animal. And now look at you. Now look at you, man. You're all like power lady. Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
But anyway.
Oh, I've got an opinion.
How can I build my
social media, to get to your question? Social media, LinkedIn can be your website. LinkedIn, how you prepare it on LinkedIn and set it up, number 1. Number 2, Facebook is good for joining groups and learning more. Don't give up on Facebook.
Yeah, but that's not for BD. That's just for learning.
Yeah, for learning and not necessarily getting business. But when you join a lot of these different groups, you get some good advice. SourceCon, this group, recruiters who actually recruit, and a whole bunch of others. But you join those groups and you get not only knowledge, not only knowledge.
See, you got to interrupt people and shout at them. They don't hear. Okay,
I didn't hear.
That's not what she wants to know.
But I didn't hear.
She wants to do business development, and she wants to know if posting on social media is going to bring her inbound business, and the answer is probably yes. Okay.
Yeah, if you're consistent with your LinkedIn posting, you'll be fine. For your website, you can go on to Webflow or GoDaddy and build a website in 2 seconds and have a basic page up, and you're fine. No one cares about your website, but they like to see that you're legit, especially when you're in another country. They want to make sure you're not, just some scammer. So
yes, exactly.
I think
exactly.
Ernie's
That was my point. I
Ernie's
wanted to make sure, since I'm using, as of right now, my social media only for my private purposes, and only it's like based in Serbia with focus in my name and my mother language. However, I believe that if, for instance, a candidate wants to do a checkup on me or make sure that he or she is safe with me, safe providing like basic information. I mean, I'm not asking for any I-9 documents in order to place them anywhere. So that was kind of a thing.
Another thing you can do is go into, say, YouTube and look at different videos as people tell you how to pump up your LinkedIn profile. There's a lot of.
I couldn't find you on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
under Sasha, not Stanislava, I think, right? You're under Sasha.
Sasha.
So you anglicized the spelling of your name for the Americans. Hold on a second. Ernie had a point. Before you have to, I don't know about GoDaddy. Maybe it's as easy as Rich says, but ham up. You should pump up your LinkedIn page and get a domain name to point to your LinkedIn. That I think he's right about that. That should be your first.
You should. And literally, before the end of the show, you could literally build a very basic website on GoDaddy or 100 other sites.
And then if I could add one other thing.
But that's not that important.
When you're writing your piece and your information about yourself and all that other stuff, go to Chat GPT, you write something, and then you tell it to improve it and make it lively, and it'll give you a different piece, and then you can copy it and paste it on if you like the way it's written, or you can do minor editing to your satisfaction. But
yeah, I'm pretty savvy with Chat GPT.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me say something here. The show started. There's latecomers. The show started with this guy said that you can double your income if you start posting business stuff on LinkedIn in relation to your niche. So I asked Rich. Rich is going to start a podcast where he interviews managers in his niche. You have been on enough podcasts, recruiting animal shows, that you could do that. You could have 5 or 10 minute interviews with people that you want to get to know you. You can approach them and say, I'm doing a podcast for janitors or project managers. I can't remember who you're working with, maintenance people, and say, this is what I'd like to do. I'd like to have a short interview with you on Google Meet and or Zoom. And that's one way to build relationships with managers. Super Rich is going to do it. If he's going to do it, I don't think he could double his income, but you could, because your income isn't that big to begin with. Okay. So no, I think that makes sense. Does anybody agree with me? Is anybody with me?
God, it's painful, but yes.
You agreed with me last week as well.
I know.
You said, I hate to do it, but
I've been slipping in my old age.
Recruiting animal is right. Okay.
Yeah.
So also you can start posting about your niche, nice little short posts on LinkedIn. Does anybody agree with that? Al, what do you think about that?
That's a good suggestion.
LinkedIn's the easy way to do it. You just post quality content that
what's quality content though about project managers, for instance?
Whatever that industry, whatever their pain points are, how you help them, how you solve it, the work you've done in it. What do the people find interesting in that space? You can go to ChatGPT and have it write it for you, or write it yourself, or make a video just talking about interview strategies for project managers or whatever the pain that you're going to solve for them. It could, like, I just do a dumb video all the time about, hey, here's the job I'm working on, and you get thousands of hits. It's nothing fantastic, but it works. It's all about just getting your name out there. The more people see your name, the more they believe you know what you're doing.
Should she get a Wonder Woman costume? Should she get a Wonder Woman costume?
That would get a different set of clientele, maybe.
No. I think the people in her field would know. I mean, she looks like Al Gadot. Come on, Al. You agree with me?
Rich said one thing that was important is that they will believe it.
Yeah,
and that's the important part. Whether you believe it or not, it's up to you. But they will believe it, and if they believe it, they will come.
My question is, Sasha, are you specializing in tech?
No, not in tech. Property management in the industry.
Property project managers for property management companies.
Yes, property managers, maintenance technicians, leasing consultants.
Then what they said, I agree with. I think that's a good idea.
But you've been in kind of related field, construction. Am I right, Alan?
Yeah.
What could she write about that would interest a property manager or a maintenance technician? Maintenance technicians aren't on LinkedIn, I don't think. It's the property managers. Property managers might be. What could she write about that would make them want to read it?
It depends on the section of the niche. If she's dealing with property managers of skyscrapers or 100 unit apartments, or if she's dealing with 16 to 20 units, they have different problems. Maintenance guys, you're trying to hire them, you're trying to keep them, you're trying to, you want to know one thing I would say, Sasha, and this is going to sound weird. If you were a resource with links to what are the current laws that are changing, the tax laws, the property laws, whatever laws are changing in the geographies you're focusing on, a lot of people ask those questions all the time. It's like, what are the new tax laws how are they going to affect us? Is it, but maintenance guys, property management, yeah, I mean, that's reasonable. Are you focused on any geographies?
East Coast.
Smart. I'd start out, what size? Less skyscrapers or smaller stuff?
Smaller.
Good. I'd go after this.
I wish I knew. My mother was just looking for a property manager for their condo complex. I didn't know that's what you did.
Yeah, but for the condo complex, I don't know if I don't know if they'd be willing to pay for a fee for that.
They did. They paid a recruiter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a bad one at that. So
isn't that amazing? Rich would actually, his family would have to go to a lousy recruiter. Okay, Sasha, what about this? Okay, what about this? Be friendly.
Thank you.
Okay, what you can bring it up again. What? Be friendly to candidates who accept a counteroffer. Does everybody agree with that? Be friendly to them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why not?
Wish them well.
They
Right.
screwed because they screwed you. I remember I was in an office and the guy the guy took a counteroffer and I was only hearing one end of the conversation. You screwed me, Joe. You screwed me. That was the recruiter. What he would say, George. He was a tough guy. He was, it was like, you screwed me, Joe. You screwed me. So don't say that.
That's just stupid. I mean, that's just bad business. And
sounds like out of a mafia movie.
Yeah. I mean, like I had a guy that screwed me yesterday. I was like, whatever, man. Good luck, whatever. He referred like 4 other people to me in like 10 minutes.
Really, he felt guilty, eh?
He should have been guilty because he screwed me. But I mean,
well, how did he screw you?
He screwed you, man.
He screwed me because he didn't take the job that he promised me he was taking. But whatever. My client screwed up too, so it didn't really. They took too long.
Tell us. We'll close the show. How does a counteroffer happen? Right. How does something go wrong in the rich world?
A client that I've already had my hand slapped by the CEO multiple times for pushing him too hard because the CEO takes too long to get offers out. Small company, $20 million company, took too long to get an offer out. Took him over a week to get the offer out for a guy they loved and went above and beyond and everything. But he was trying to get cute and play games and screwed it up. Meantime, another company came along. Guy raced him through the process, gave him more money, and a draw, a sign-on bonus essentially. So he took the other offer. I mean,
but how did you get? He didn't screw you. He got a better offer.
No, because he promised me the whole time he was going to take this job. This other thing kind of magically happened at the last minute. He wasn't fully honest about the other opportunity. I mean, either way, listen. The guy did what was in his best interest.
I want to understand, how was he not honest about the other opportunity? He didn't tell you that
because he did not tell me about the other opportunity.
Oh, he didn't tell you about it.
He told me. I mean, he specifically said, "I'm going to take this job." He even told other people he was going to this company,
even after the other one was already in play. Okay,
I thought my client screwed up by taking too long to get the offer out.
Yes,
but would he have taken your offer had he gotten it?
I believe so. I believe he would have.
Don't you think that both of them were running simultaneously?
There's a lot of reasons without going into every detail, but there's a lot of reasons. He wanted this job for a lot of reasons, but he got nervous because he really had to get out of where he was. But listen, an offer takes a week to get out. I'd get nervous too. I don't really.
Will you work with that company again, or will you try to make them promise to be a bit?
It's a 30% deal. I'll work with them again. So
it's a 30% of nothing is nothing. Okay,
you're right. But I've also closed 4 other deals with them in the last 6 months. So,
Rich, could you give the name of the candidate and the company now?
Yeah, there you go.
Would anybody else? How would anybody else take special measures with this company? Did the candidate didn't screw Rich.
The candidate didn't screw me. The candidate told me, yeah, don't worry, let it take. I understand it's going to take a few days because I had him prepped for everything. Listen, did he screw me like I should be pissed at him? No. Did he screw me and say he was going to take this job? Absolutely. Did he?
Yeah, but I would go back to that CEO and you were an idiot, okay? You're crazy. I told you what to do.
Was he honest about the other opportunity? Absolutely not. Could he have just been buying time? That's why he didn't care if it was rushed through or not? Probably.
Could he be playing your job offer against the other one? Maybe.
Exactly. I mean,
it goes to the same. It goes to the same thing as a cold email and not taking it personal and just kind of like you got to get through it. Shit's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, but this is a candidate that literally had told other people that he referred to me that he was going to this company. I mean, that's how assured we thought he was taking this job. But listen, I get it.
And that just makes it hurt more. That's all.
Listen, at the end of the day, is in this business, we all know people are going to do what's in their best interest, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah, but in your fee agreement, you got to get back to me within 48 hours.
The hiring manager, the hiring manager got back to me every day, every hour. I've become good friends with the guy. His CEO, who's in Israel, not so much.
How come How come you were able to place how come you were able to place 4 other people with the company and you didn't have this problem?
because I was able to save those people because there was also a slowdown. Hence, I said I got my hand slapped multiple times already, so I couldn't go do it a third or fourth time. So the VP of pre-sales was advocating and pushing as hard as he could. So this is the joy of startup companies. Don't really make a lot of sense. Like startups are so unlike the rest of the real world and how these guys operate in many, many ways.
This happens everywhere, in my opinion.
No, it does. So those things happen everywhere, but it's startup companies are unique. They're a unique beast because you got so much ego involved and founders and owners, and this is money out of their own pocket that they're spending because this guy's not VC backed. So
do you find you have multiple players involved in making that decision as opposed to a said company that's not a startup?
What do you mean?
You know, like you have to have agreement from this group and this guy and this other guy.
Yeah. If one person says no, it screws the whole deal up. Yeah, absolutely. So it's like all these searches. You know, you got to get everyone happy and singing along, or one guy says no or makes us think about it. No one else wants to fight over it.
Why can't we sing this song all together? Alan Fluhrer, you haven't been here for a while. You want to say anything to the millions of people who are watching this podcast?
Animal, I'm just glad you let me in after so long.
There you go.
Welcome back. I still think of you sometimes. Ernie, any party?
Mostly on the
If I told him
camera.
I think of you every day, he should be worried, okay?
I think he wants to know where you think of him now. Where are you? What are you doing?
Ernie, anything you want to say? Anything you want to say?
Thank you guys for sharing. I mean, I always find it informative and learning.
Good luck to Wonder Woman. He doesn't think you look like one. Alan does.
you.
Do you think she looks like Gal Gadot?
No, I like the idea.
She's got little bunny ears today. So
I like the idea. She should figure that what speaks to her and go with it.
We'll talk about your new company again. Thank you for sharing. America's Recruiter, I gave him such a big plug at the beginning. Cornerstonesearch.com. Let me see. How do I turn this off? That's the big question. Stop recording. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.